Hey guys, Christian here today, bringing you a brand new video on this, gloomy Christchurch morning. I swear to God, we never got summer down here. But anyway, let's get straight to business. First things first, thank you very much to everyone who took time out of their day last week to sit down and listen to what I have to say. Thank you to very much everyone sitting down today, listening to what I have to say. I'm trying to speak slower. I had feedback saying I speak too fast, and some people needed a translator. I do apologize. You know, it's the Afrikaans influence, this English thing, man. It's just, we speak very fast in Afrikaans, so when I speak, I'm doing it again. When I speak English, it tends to be fast as well, so I'm trying my best to slow down. Alright, so, let's get straight into business. I'm going to take a sip of this coffee here. This is for you, Lisa. That is lovely. It's the long black, same shit, different day. So, today's video is about making gains when you're 40 and over. This is something that I've been looking forward to so much to doing. I love my 40-plus-year-old members. Just absolutely awesome dealing with them. They were raised in a time where there wasn't this whole internet sensitivity, zombie rights activist bullshit, whatever is going on. So, oh man, thick-skinned people, punches up in the stomach, tough as hell. Oh, I love it. Thank you for being 40 plus. I actually don't have that many 40 plus members at Parish. I only have a couple. It's pretty disheartening. I have a lot of 20, 21-year-old females. I don't know why. They must come for the coaching or some shit. But if you're 40 and over and you want to get fit and strong, like, please contact me. I would love to help you. Like, I would just love to have more 40 plus members at Parish. But anyway, so going to delve into this topic a bit today. Just going to want to point some outlining differences out between, you know, getting strong and fitter when you're 40 and over and getting strong and fit opposed to getting strong and fit when you're 20, alright? Because they're two different conversations. We all know this. And I believe that people who are 40 plus should have a slightly different approach towards their training than people who are 20. Right? This is just my experience with it. And it's been shown to be quite effective. Like I say, we don't have that many members, 40 plus members at Parish, but I have a lot of online clients, etc., who are 40 and over, and who I've been able to get some pretty special results for by just altering the training a little bit. So the first thing I want to point out with the training differences is ability to recover. That is the primary difference between someone who's 20 and someone who's 40. How the training cycle works is we have a stress, then we have recovery, then we have an adaptation. Alright, so we do 505 back squat at 100. Then we have the recovery, so you go home, you have some proteins, you have some sleep, you wake up the next day, you're stronger, right? I'm simplifying a lot, but this is basically how it works. Next time you go and you squat 105, that's a stress. You recover from it by eating some foods and going to bed, then you should recover. Same with it's CrossFit, right? You go to the CrossFit, you do hopefully, you're doing some squats at your gym. If you're not, call me, just come to Parish. You do some squats, get out of breath, right? Maybe row 2K or something. You go home, you have some potatoes, you have some steak, you sleep, you wake up, you're fit and stronger. Right? I'm simplifying it quite a bit, but that's how it works. The older you get, the more sensitive you become to volume. All right, so the less you recover, or the harder it becomes to recover from. Sorry, it was just kept messaging me. The harder it becomes for you to recover from the stressor. All right, the amount of reps you're doing per training session. Man, if you say you're going to do something, I agree with that. If you say you're going to do something, just do it, 100%. I've completely lost my train of thought now, Kip. What are you doing, mate? It's messing with my show here. I've written everything down, luckily. So basically, stress recovery, adaptation. Here's the thing, when you get older, Jesus Christ, mate, when you get older, it becomes a lot easier to apply the stress and a lot harder to recover from that stress. Alright, so when we're young, you can apply a lot more stress, you can recover from that stress, so adaptation is good. When you get older, the stress becomes a lot easier to apply. The adaptation, the adaptation is slightly slower, the recovery is slightly slower, and hence the adaptation hinders. Alright, so if you don't have adequate stress, you won't adapt. If you don't have adequate recovery, you won't adapt, right? You have to find a yin-yang relationship between the two, all right? You have to synchronize them up. Another thing that I see with the older generation, wow. Kip is just ranting on my Facebook right now. You should see this. It's absolutely amazing. It's hilarious. Just ranting about some shit. Anyway, Another thing that I see with the older athletes is nutrition. All right, so when I don't know if you know this or not, but when you're 40 and plus, your ability to absorb protein, for example, is far less. Right, so you can absorb far less protein than when you were younger. All right, so how do we fix this? You just have to ingest more protein per kilogram of body weight, and it also has to be a high quality protein. So when you're young, you maybe got away with high protein soy powder or some shit that you had when you were 25. That's not going to suffice when you're 40 and plus, right? You're going to have a little bit. You have to have more protein. That's going to be a higher source of protein, high quality protein as well. Also, what we see with the older athletes is injury. This is a big thing with the older generation. They seem to be, the inflammation builds up, and they constantly in a minor level of pain. So they use it as an excuse. They say, "Oh, I'm old," and they kind of justify it. Listen, getting injured is not the way to get fit and strong. Right? It's possibly the worst thing you could do. So here's what I want to. Now that I've pointed out a couple of things that we see with training parameters for older people. I'm going to say older people, tough people. We call them tough. Henceforth, 40-year-olds and plus will be the tough people. What we see for tough people is that when you're younger, you typically train like a competitor, right? So your primary focus is winning, and your second focus is safety. So when you're a professional tennis player, for example, your primary focus is destroying the opponent on the other side of the tennis court. Your second priority is safety. When I coach the tough people, when I coach tough people for fitness, when I coach tough people for strength, I never do that in a competitive sense, right? So my primary focus is always safety and correct technical movement. And then in the presence of technical movement, correctly perform technical movement, which is usually like basic barbell exercise, etc., and basic conditioning movements, wall, etc., the probability of injury goes down quite a bit. Right, so when I take my tough people, my tough members, I move them through good range of motion. They do technically sound movement. I don't let them do a lot of snatches and overhead squats because it's not that necessary for them. They don't get injured. It's funny how that works. I've had one client that was 52, I believe, and with it was a him. What we did is we got him front squat, back squatting. He was deadlifting. He is doing bench press, strict press, and his metcons consisted of basic exercises: rowing, push-ups, a little bit of running. Not really like the running; it's a bit rough on the knees. Airdyne, basic burpees, etc. He got really fit. He actually reduced. He had really bad injuries from when he was younger. He played a lot of rugby, etc. Managed to take pretty much all those injuries away almost. Like his shoulders actually felt healthy, etc. So, and how we did this was over a long period of time. We just did really basic exercises, technical sound movement. We actually managed to not degrade. That's a horrible word. We actually managed to reduce the list of injuries that he had. So my advice to anyone who's over 40, training is a process. All right, you've made it up until 40. You have patience, you have grit, you have toughness. Approach your training with that same mentality, and just know that, hey, listen, it's biology. You just do not recover as well as an under 21-year-old in your class. You don't need to be doing what he does. You do not need to be doing what he does intensity-wise. You do not need to do it. You don't need to be going at the relative intensity that he's going. You need to challenge yourself every single session, obviously, because if you're a lack of stressor, you're not going to improve. We always want you to improve. So you're going to have to go in there, and I want you to just focus on yourself with your training. Focus on doing technically correct movement. All right, let your coach guide you through. Like, if you feel uncomfortable doing it, ask your coach. Say, hey, listen, I really don't feel comfortable doing this. And your coach will hopefully correct you. If he doesn't, he's not a coach, he's a trainer. All right, then you need to source something out. You need to either see another coach at your gym, and if that doesn't work, if you've been there for 2 years, you're training 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, and you can't walk without warming up, you need to source something out, because whatever you're doing is not working, and getting injured is not the way to get fit and strong. So you have patience. Because you've been through life, you've walked a couple of miles. I ask you to approach your training the same way. Have patience, right? Do technically correct movements. There's no need for you to be squatting 500 pounds for sets of 5. This is 500 pounds. Sorry, I wrote an article for Lift Big Eat Big, and it's an American side Facebook group, etc., etc. Everything had to be in pounds, so my head's just running in pounds right now. There's no need for you to be squatting 220 kilos for sets of 5, like the 20-year-old next to you, right? There's no need for you to be doing that. You're in a process, right? You want to enhance your quality of life when you want to be better off 50 than you were at 40. All right, the only way you're going to do that is by remaining injury-free, doing technically correct movements, and just taking it day by day. All right, don't go in there. I see too many people that, they get 40 plus and then I don't know, they get impatient to some extent sometimes, and they want to start snatching 100 and all kinds of stuff like that. I mean, you need to reassess your need to do that. Like, why? Why do you want to snatch 100? You're not going to win the CrossFit Games, and that's not going to happen. I mean, the 100 kilo snatch isn't going to win you any weightlifting competition with entering. I mean, except, I guess, Facebook likes for your CrossFit's page. I mean, there's no real need for you to do any of those movements. So just focus on doing basics really well, remaining injury free, and then taking care of the stuff outside of the gym. So, are you recovering adequately? How's your sleep? I know a lot of people who are 40 plus, business owners, etc. They have 60 minutes a day to exercise. You want to come in there 60 minutes a day, and you want to spend that time optimally, right? You don't want to be wasting your time in there doing 20 minutes of this, 30 minutes of this, and then next minute it's you're 15 minutes into your session, you've already done anything. Go in there, do the basics well, move strong, get out of breath, recover. That's it. Right? Do this over a sustained period of time, and I can guarantee you in 5 to 10 years from now, you'll be better off than you were when you didn't do this. Right? You shouldn't be. I always believe that training should enhance your quality of life, not decrease it. Right? You should be feeling better, not worse during training. Right, I wanted to keep this video nice and short. Just a couple of bullet points on things I see with people over 40. Remember, thank you for being over 40. You're a pillar in our community, and if anyone's interested in coming, I would love to have more 40-year-olds. I would absolutely love having more 40-year-olds. Before I forget, like I mentioned just earlier, I wrote an article on the importance of absolute strength training for up-and-coming competitive CrossFit athletes. Ooh, it's a big mouthful. For Lift Big, Eat Big. Lift Big, Eat Big it's owned by Brandon Morrison. He's a strength and conditioning coach. He's a powerlifting strongman coach over in the States. He's got over 100,000 people that follow him on Facebook, his website, everything. He's very, very successful in the industry, and I was fortunate enough to work with him and write this article for him. I'll link the article in the description of this video. Feel free to go have a read. Go visit his Facebook page. If you like the article, click like. If you had something to say, if you enjoyed it, write a comment. Give feedback so we know what you guys want and how we can help you. All right, so that article is out there. It was really, really awesome working with Brandon. Absolutely awesome guy, and we look forward to big things that are coming ahead in the near foreseeable future. All right, guys, that is it for me for today. If you have any questions about making gains in your 40s and plus, feel free to message me. Please don't be shy. Send me a message. Ask me any questions. I will help you to the best of my abilities. If I don't know, I have a great business partner, Kip. He runs Perish with me. Very, very knowledgeable. I'm sure between the two of us, we can put our noggins together and we can sort something out to help you. All right, please feel free to message us anytime, either myself or him. We will help you to the best of our abilities, all right? We're here to help you guys. We always support the space we operate in. You guys are in the space we operate in. We will help you, all right? That is it for me today, guys. Stay safe, stay humble. Don't take life too seriously. Go do your squats. And remember, if your CrossFit coach isn't letting you do squats at your gym, he's not a coach, he's a trainer. Stay safe, stay humble. I'll see you all next week. Cheers, guys.